Hello, people who need to get their priorities straight. This is Harry Potter and the Boys, a Harry Potter fan fiction by me, Radio Mike, Sammy Garlepp. I had to get you back.
It is great to be back, Radio Mike.
Thank you.
We are two people who need to get our priorities straight. That's for sure.
We were talking off air about how each of us makes no money from any of our comedic endeavors. So,
which is strange because we're always digging up comedy gold.
I think we are. And that's why I've got you back for the trifecta because, you've used this analogy, but Prisoner of Azkaban, number 3, often cited as the best book and film. So this could be your finest performance.
Oh my God, this is my Azkaban. And I actually, now I'm remembering I did promise that on the last one that this would be my best one.
But
so time to get serious.
It is Sirius Black's first appearance, but not his first mention. He was mentioned in the first book, I believe.
Oh, was he? Yeah, as a great friend of the Potters.
The Potters,
probably.
Yes. And I believe in the first I believe Sirius is one of the first characters in Harry Potter to ever be mentioned because Hagrid says to Dumbledore at the start, Sirius Black lent it to me about the motorbike.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so that's
the motorbike does come back, doesn't it? Yeah,
the motorbike comes back in the last.
Does he crash it? Does it crash into the pond and...
Yeah.
Or is that just Harry that crashes into the pond?
Could just be Harry. I'm not really sure.
Well.
Have you been well though?
Been a bit Crookshanks actually. And
you've been a bit Crookshanks?
No, I hate cats, so no. No, I'm well now. I'm all good. Just had a bit of COVID to recover from.
Fair enough.
Not quite yet, but we'll be right.
Yeah,
you're okay, right?
The vaccine's out. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Well, you've been vaccinated.
No, I haven't. I assume you have since you've got it.
Well, I think unemployed comedians and podcasters are pretty far down the government's list.
Which is good because we all know the vaccine's going to fuck everyone up. No one should take the vaccine. Can we at the top though, you have a show that starts next week at the Melbourne International Comedy Festival. Just quickly plug that.
Yep.
Be quick, don't self-indulge.
Okay, it's called... I mean, it's pretty this whole thing's pretty self-indulgent. You're not one to talk. This is a podcast about your fan fiction you wrote.
Yeah, it's not about me. I do have a podcast that is specifically about me, but
I've got a show at the Melbourne International Comedy Festival called Sam Garlepp Come Again. Starts next Wednesday in 1 week from the podcast release.
Yes, awesome.
And the weekend shows are already sold out, but there are many tickets left for the other ones.
I just bought a ticket to the Wednesday night show, which is opening night. So I will be at that. And with no discredit to Sam, it hasn't sold out yet.
No.
So you can get a ticket. I will be there. And maybe, you can sit next to me and we can chat Harry Potter stuff.
When the show, getting the lulls in the show.
we can heckle Sam with Crookshanks. Hey man, you're feeling a bit Crookshanks tonight. No, I'm sure it's going to be awesome.
So, Mike, just accio some friends and get along.
Do you remember at your last show, you might not remember this, but I was in the audience and one of your crowd work bits was, what's your favorite flavor of Arnott shapes? Yeah. And I said savory, which is my favorite, and you called me a psychopath.
Yeah, well, whose favorite is savory?
Savory's great.
Like, that's the forgotten one.
I love savory. No, in fact, you'll never see me eating a non-savory shape.
That's disgusting. That's a real serial killer trait, I think I said.
Yeah, okay.
Which is what they thought Sirius Black was.
Yes, but he wasn't. And so we're I feel like because you've been on 3 times now, we've ran out of Harry Potter-based stuff to talk about.
Well, no, because we're thinking about going back and other fan fictions and Harry Potter fan fictions. Yeah. And I think I've mentioned it before. Have I mentioned it before? Have you ever watched a Harry Potter musical? I
actually haven't, and I need to watch it because everybody tells me that I would love it.
It's a full musical. It's on YouTube.
Yeah.
It stars and is, I think, partly written by Darren Criss, who was on Glee.
Oh, wow.
And he's Harry Potter.
Yeah.
And Ron is this Kramer character. It's so funny. And the music's awesome. Oh, and I feel like I want to sing it, but I won't.
Sing it for us.
It opens.
Yeah. It's like in School of Rock. It opens. There's some dry ice on the ground. Confetti comes out. In the end of time, the artist led the way. If you haven't seen School of Rock, see it now. Non-Harry Potter related.
But the Harry Potter one starts underneath these stairs, I hear the sneers and feel the glares of my cousin, my uncle and my aunt.
Wow.
Can't believe how cruel they are, and it stings my lightning scar to know they'll never, ever give me what I want. I know I don't deserve these stupid rules made by the Dursleys here on Privet Drive.
Wow.
Despite all of these muggles and despite all my struggles, I'm still alive. Should I keep going?
Kind of.
I'm sick of summer and it's waiting around. And then it's September and I'm skipping this town. Hey, it's no mystery. There's nothing here for me now. I gotta get back to Hogwarts.
Wow. And if this is why you should see Sam's show, it is not that.
It's not that, but I shouldn't have gone all the fun.
Can I say that actually did sound like it was like almost the same exact structure to the School of Rock song where it's like,
I know.
In his heart he knew the artist must be true, but the legend of the rent was way past due. And then Katie, you come in with the bass. Well, you think you'll be? Yeah. So how about I'll watch a Harry Potter musical and do a review of it on this pod in the next few weeks.
And I'll watch School of Rock.
Have you not seen it?
No, of course I have.
Okay.
Sorry,
hey, I want to launch a new segment on the show. Potter or Not has been great, but you've proved that you're quite good discerning whether something's Potter or Notter, right? You've done it twice now. Want to launch a new segment. Does not mean Potter or Not is going away.
Okay.
But it just gives us the chance to expand a little bit. Brand new segment on the show, and there will be an opener that I will put in post, but this segment is called... Finito Quotronus.
Finito Quotronum!
Finito Quotronus.
This is Finito Quotronus, and essentially how this works, it's pretty obvious from the name. You need to finish this quote from one of the Harry Potter movies. So Finito Quotronus.
Which is... like most of the spells.
Yeah.
Some of the spells are really obvious and some of them aren't.
Well, okay, so I was thinking, because Expecto Patronum, I think, because Patronum is like patron, like guardian or protect, like, you know, so that kind of makes sense. Expecto, I think, just means...
I expect you to protect me. That's me. Please protect me.
I mean, I guess so. What's a non-obvious one?
Maybe they are all obvious and it's not obvious to me. Incendio.
I'm sure Incendio is like incend. I don't know. Send in your favorite Harry Potter spell etymology. So I'm going to play you the start of a quote from Harry Potter, and you need to discern, of course, you need to Finito Quotronum.
Finito Quotronus, okay.
All right, so here's your first one.
Now, if you two don't mind, I'm going to bed before either of you come up with another clever idea to get us killed.
Finito Quotronum.
Or worse, expelled.
Or worse, expelled.
Correct. Well done. Very good job.
That's a good one.
Here is your next one. Bit harder. I did start easy. Finito this Quotronum.
You could have killed me! Dobby never meant to kill.
Dobby only meant to seriously hurt or injure. No, that's not right. Or maim.
No, give it another shot. Give it another shot.
Dobby never meant to kill. Dobby only meant to maim or injure? Oh.
I'm going to give it to him. It's Dobby never meant to kill, Dobby only meant to maim or seriously injure.
Oh,
so I'm going to give it to you. That was very good.
Dobby only meant to maim or seriously injure.
Okay, well, I'll take it because I'm a sucker for...
2 for 2.
If I was playing trivia against someone else, I would not give it to them. However, if I'm playing trivia with me, I will take the point.
Yeah. Here is your final Finito Quotronum. Finito this Quotronum.
Tell them how it happened that night. Tell them how you looked him in the eye.
So this always just makes... that makes me laugh.
Yeah, why?
I don't know why, that just makes me laugh. How dare you stand where he stood? Like, I just think that's just a silly threat. Because anyone who's killed anyone or anyone who's died, you're going to stand where someone stood. Like, it's not the...
Have you ever thought, like, because this scene in the Finito Quotronum, it does not happen in the books. And a lot of the scenes in the second part of Deathly Hallows Part 2 were just added in for the movie because I think I don't know why, but this never happened in the books and it seems so silly that this happened.
I feel like as they cut out so many of the book plots, they just plot little subplots in the book.
Yeah.
They had to make their own kind of thing and jam it all together in the end to make a movie.
And this one was weird because why would Harry do this? Like, And you know the other thing, sorry to interrupt, guys.
Yeah, sorry, we'll just have a
the other thing I hate about Deathly Hallows Part 2 movie is there's this scene in which Professor McGonagall orders Mr. Filch to take all of the Slytherin students to the dungeons.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just like, I'm sorry, Professor McGonagall, but like there is literally about to be a war and you need to get all of the underage students out of Hogwarts or into a safe space. Like, why would you just put all of these students and lock them in the dungeons? That's barbaric and psychopathic.
Yeah, well, like she's just taken some prisoners of war.
Yeah.
They are now...
She's holding them hostage.
They're now hostages.
Some of these kids are like 11 years old and they're just like, I'm sorry, I know I'm in Slytherin, but like my family is not a dark family.
yeah.
Like I'm just at school. Can I go home?
I've been here for 2 terms. I don't even know. And I'm a mudblood. I don't even know who these guys are.
So I hate that. Finito quote.
Okay. So how dare he stood where he stood. Something.
He looked him in the eye.
He looked him in the eye and said, "No,
Avada Kedavra."
Here's looking at you, kid.
No, it's
you get your own tree."
That is incorrect. It is this.
A man who trusted you and killed him. Tell them.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. One of the more difficult ones.
And I didn't care for it.
So that's a fun new segment. What do you Potter or Not was getting hard because I was running out of books.
You do have a few books in here.
I do have a few, but yeah.
It was getting obvious though because we were all just looking at the books.
Yeah, exactly. Shall we dive into the FF?
I forgot about it. Yeah.
FF is fan fiction, by the way.
Yes. Yeah. No. Fan fiction. I being a fan of your fan fiction, have then started on my own podcast, Tim and Sammy. I've started.
I heard this.
Reading fan fiction on my podcast.
You're doing Tim and Sammy fan fiction.
Well, yeah. If anyone wants to write a Tim and Sammy fan fiction, everyone. Or I'm also reading a fan fiction of Vladimir Putin.
Yes.
Called Falling for Vladimir.
I did hear that. That was very funny.
This is funnier.
Chapter 17. Now, have you heard last week's episode? Or
I have heard last week's episode
with Tom and Oles?
It was very confusing.
Yes.
I noticed they were really good at reading. They were really good
Tom
at
and Ollie
reading.
were really, they did voices and everything. Go check that out. But yeah, this is a follow-on. Where we left off, the boys had gone into the Pensieve and seen a memory that Hermione showed them.
Yes.
And now she's saying, I've got one more memory I want to show you. I hope you can make more sense of it than I can. And that's where we pick up in chapter 17, which is called, Sammy.
Well, and we usually start by reading out the chapter name.
He's got it.
Chapter 17, the Crypigtic... Sorry. Wow, reading out the chapter name.
One of the hardest.
Harder than it sounds.
It's a strange chapter name.
Chapter 17, the Crypigtic message.
So it's basically like the word cryptic, but there's like the word pig is jammed in. So it's the Crypigtic message.
Which is not that cryptic in the end, really, because it's just something about a pig.
I don't think the chapter name is the Crypigtic message.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay, chapter 17, the Cryptic message.
Crypigtic. I don't think you've quite got it. Can you just try it again? Crypigtic.
Crypigtic. Oh, fuck. Now I just said dick pic.
Chapter 17.
The
there's
dick
no
pic message.
dick pic because I don't think dick pics existed in 2007.
No, and if you were in year 7, you wouldn't want to be taking them anyway.
Well, you'd hope not.
No.
Well, I mean, yeah. Well, let's just not go there.
Okay, let's begin the chapter. Rob and Michael looked into the Pensieve. They plunged into the Pensieve and landed into the Great Hall again. It was a brand new memory, and it happened before the one from the last chapter. They knew that for sure.
Okay, so
Don't know how they knew that for sure.
So this memory chronologically took place before the memory from the last chapter. So this is earlier in time. Is that?
Yeah. So if you're wondering, basically this fan fiction takes place 50 years after Deathly Hallows.
Yeah.
Then the memory in the last chapter was 20 years before this, so 30 years after Deathly Hallows. Now
Yes.
this memory is even before that, so somewhere between 0 and 30 years after Deathly Hallows.
Yes.
I think that makes it pretty clear.
It is quite clear now, yes.
Now, they saw Boris sitting on the Slytherin table.
So Boris is now the name that we assume is the guy with the long grey hair that has popped up a few times. So yeah.
But he's relatively new, Boris.
He's relatively new,
and
yes.
Boris who?
Do we know his surname?
No.
I don't think we know his surname.
He was sitting next to Mr. Charger.
Okay.
The boys couldn't help but realise how idiotic they both looked.
Idiotic is just my go-to adjective.
Misspelled as always.
Yes.
Incredible that no one corrected you at the time.
And you know what else? Every time idiotic is spelt this way, which is IDIODIC, there's the Microsoft Word red underline that's like incorrect, but I just haven't bothered to check.
Oh, you're like, oh, that's probably right.
Yeah.
The computer's probably wrong.
Yeah.
The boys couldn't help but realize how idiotic they both looked. Idiotic in the sense they both looked like idiots. I can't put it more simply than that. And you've used then instead of than, you absolute idiot.
J.K. Rowling just, Harry looked very afraid when he saw Voldemort. I can't put it more simply than that.
If you don't get how afraid he was, well, you're reading the wrong book. Okay, so they're yep, sure. This is pretty good.
Pretty standard. We're in this memory.
They were both very small, and they were probably the same age as Michael and Rob were right now.
Ooh.
It was their first year at Hogwarts, and it was the opening feast.
Okay, so this is day one of Hogwarts.
Day one of Hogwarts with
Mr. Charger and Boris are first years, do we assume? Because they're the same age as Michael and Rob. So
yeah.
So we find out they were both Hogwarts students, presumably in Slytherin, which is the evil house.
Yeah, but then how... Oh, now I'm getting confused about the timelines again. Because, is Mr. Charger older than Harry? Oh, are they the same age as Harry? Oh, God.
No, Mr. Charger's younger than Harry.
Oh, wow.
I think Mr. Charger's in his, 30s or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I knew that. I just picture him as old and wearing shorts and long socks. And...
No, he's actually on the front. He's on the podcast artwork of this podcast.
Oh.
So Harry on the podcast artwork has his hands around Mr. Charger. And he's like this, yeah.
Oh, cool.
So there you go. Take a closer look.
You nearly put your arm around me, but you didn't. So I'm glad you didn't touch me. Don't touch me. Don't.
COVID precautions.
Okay, I already said that. They must have just been sorted.
Okay.
This would mean they were about 11 years old.
Makes sense.
Which is the same age as a 9-year-old if they were 2 years older. Oh, Michael. And I'm calling you Michael now.
It makes sense.
Why bother putting that in? Okay. Or a dead person if they died when they were 80, except 69 years younger than that.
Had to get 69 in
You
there.
had to get 69 in. If there's one thing that's funny to kids in year 7 or 8, it's the number 69.
And why is it funny? I know why it's funny, but why is it funny to a kid that there is a sexual position named after a number?
It just is.
It just is.
Do you know, my original email address, which I still actually use, has _69 at the end.
Is it Sam Garlepp _69 at hotmail.com?
No, it's Sam's
Is it really?
_69 at hotmail.com. So send me an email. I'm locked out of it. But
And does that imply that you used to 69 a lot?
the thing is, I reckon I made that email when I was in grade 3 or 4. I had no idea what that meant.
Yeah, right.
Even by year 7, no idea what it meant. Even year 8, year 9, I think I've only just learned recently what 69... No. For those who don't know what a 69 is, it's like when you go on a sleepover and it's like an adult top and tail. Okay, children?
We've all been there.
We've all... Oh, 69. Classic.
Okay, so they're 11 years old. We've learnt that in great detail.
And this is almost more poignant that we're just talking about that. And then the next line is, they were eating away.
Okay, now they were not 69.
I mean,
well, they could have been. They could have been.
Boris and Mr. Charger were 69ing on the table. No, that doesn't say that.
Does not say that.
Doesn't say that. Doesn't say that.
Or does it? It doesn't.
They were eating away. Boris started to whisper to Mr. Charger, and I promise this is not going to get...
This is so nice. We should do this more. No one has ever said that while 69. Wow, this is so nice. We should do this more. Sorry, I can't hear you.
What was that? Did you say something?
Don't worry.
This is so gross. Oh my gosh. But most fan fictions do turn sexual. So
they do.
Yeah, I'm just waiting.
And a lot of them are queer. A lot of them would involve same-sex sexual stuff.
So maybe this
does make sense.
Yeah. I guess it doesn't make sense to call him Mr. Charger. This is what I was thinking. I guess it doesn't make sense to call him Mr. Charger because at this point, he's not really Mr. Charger. He's Winston Charger. But I'm just calling him Mr. Charger for clarity's sake.
So Mr. Charger and Winston Charger, same character.
Yeah, but basically, he's a child now.
He's not yet a teacher.
He's a child. Yeah, he's not yet a teacher.
Yeah.
Okay.
In this point of the book, which is 30 years before the current point of Anyway. You get it. It's really not that hard. It's not that hard.
This is like we're in, what's that?
Back to the Future.
Back to the Future?
It's like,
or that one with Leo and the timeline. No, that's a different
Inception.
Inception?
That's not time travel though. That's just dreams within dreams.
Like a
Maybe-
pensieve.
maybe
a memory
this is a dream.
Can you go into a pensieve memory in the pensieve and then get a memory out of there?
I'm positive you can. How crazy is that?
Because if someone,
Because could Harry have a memory of him being in Dumbledore's memory, and then he goes into the pensieve of that memory?
yeah, because if someone let's say someone's destroyed a memory, well, guess what? I'm going to go in a memory of when that memory existed, and I'm going to look at it. I'm going to look at your memory of you and Mr. Charger 69ing. I knew it happened. I knew you 69'd on the Great Hall table.
I don't think there's anything more gross than two of your teachers 69. Oh wait, Boris isn't a teacher, but just we went to the same school. I don't know if you knew that there was two teachers that were dating, and just the idea of them 69ing just grosses me out so much.
I did not know that. We will talk about that off air.
Tell you off air. Bonus episode.
No, don't worry. That's what's your expecto bonus? Okay.
Sorry, everyone. Sorry about this.
The boys moved in closer to hear what he was saying. Okay, we're here now, he whispered. You know what to do. We have to kill them.
Oh, so that's Boris, I believe. And that's
11 years old.
11-year-old who, for all we can tell, has infiltrated Hogwarts specifically to kill someone.
I would lock them in the basement. Yeah.
Lock all the Slytherins in the basement, Professor Mr. Filch.
I know, whispered Mr. Charger, but... Look, quiet! Granger's watching, Boris said.
Ooh. So Winston Charger and Boris are both know Hermione Granger, refer to her as Granger, but they're 11 years old and they're new to Hogwarts.
What is going on?
Some time travel bullshit, perhaps? I don't know.
I think so.
Possibly.
Anyway. Does it mean they're just really small men? It doesn't matter. It's really small men.
Small versions of
wow,
themselves.
that first year's got a beard. Yeah. Nah, it's probably nothing. The boys looked at Hermione, and she was indeed watching the two boys. It was as if she was suspicious of them, but she could not quite figure out why.
Oh, well, there's clearly... she's right. There's clearly something suspicious going on.
About the two 11-year-olds with facial hair.
Who were talking about killing someone.
What was it about these boys that made her so suspicious? She didn't know. That's exactly what the last sentence said. She was suspicious, but she couldn't figure out why. What was about them? She didn't know. And neither did anybody else, especially Hermione, though.
Now, see, this is one of those things where it feels like maybe that's a plot point, but I think it's just poor writing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think you're trying to be funny.
Yeah, okay, which has fallen flat, much like a lot of this book.
Oh, okay. Harry Potter, who hadn't lost his memory yet, stood up. Thank you very much.
Now, we did learn in the last chapter the origin of Harry being so weird. It's because he was hit by a memory charm and is essentially like Gilderoy Lockhart in Chamber of Secrets now.
Yeah, where'd you get that idea?
Well, from that.
I want to say a few words before you get off to bed, he said. Ooh. I want you to be aware that, well, first of all, you, and you all have head lice.
Which would never happen at a school assembly. Good morning, teachers and students. Sorry, you, and you head lice. So you need to get out now because it's worse than COVID, really. If one lice gets into this school, the rest of us are fucked.
I'm absolutely you're not meant to read out people's medical histories in front of everyone.
At primary school, having head lice was literally like you had the plague. You were so ashamed of it.
Yeah, and then you have to go put eucalyptus in your hair or something.
And you have to shave your head, and then you come to school with a shaved head, and everyone knows. It's like, oh, why'd you get your hair cut? Oh, just got it shaved. I don't know, just wanted to change. No, you fucking had lice. We all know it.
Gross, gross, yuck.
Yeah.
I never had to shave my head for lice.
Yeah, I didn't either.
I just spread it.
Actually, funnily enough, this is actually a great, unexpected connection. The person that Derek, the character in this, is based on, I do remember at school they had to shave
because he had lice.
Well, I assume he had lice. We may never know.
Now I'm thinking about everyone who shaved. Oh, yeah, maybe that's why they shaved their head.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, anyway, he pointed some. He said
Most bald people have chronic lice.
What?
Yeah, most bald people have chronic lice, so they just like, well, I'm just shaving it all off.
Bald.
Bald.
It's just like you're haunted.
It's another word
haunted,
I can't say.
Haunted.
I can't say the word bald. Bald?
You can't say
bald.
Yeah,
Bald?
I think you struggle with the A's when it's like it's a rounded
a complex A sound. The haunted bald man.
Mike, it's understandable. I mean, it is the first letter you learn as a child, but still, you'll get there.
Because sometimes, you finish A so quickly, you gloss over a lot of the more complex A's. You're straight onto B.
The B, the
and I
C's.
promise you, all the B words I can say so well. A lot of those A sounds I struggle with. Sorry, everybody.
So there are students that had lice. Those students, one of which was mid-scratching his head, looked embarrassed.
that is funny, like caught in the act.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, I've got lice. That's why I'm scratching.
Yeah. Me? No, I was just, looked embarrassed, and the entire school, including Mr. Charger and Boris, began pointing at them and laughing at them, repeatedly saying, "Licey, lice head. No, licey, lice head. Licey, lice head."
So your headmaster of your school has pointed you and said you have head lice, and the entire cohort just goes licey, lice head, licey, lice head. How embarrassing!
Oh, but also that would happen.
It would happen, yeah.
Like this is a very so far accurate
reading of the modern schooling system. It's a bit like Summer Heights High.
Oh yeah. We won't do any of the voices from that one because we. Okay. What house would Jonah Takalua be? Okay.
Jonah would absolutely be a Gryffindor. He has a heart of a lion.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
He's a bit like a cooler version of Neville.
He is, yeah. No, he's not like Neville at all.
Yeah, but like he's kind of dumb.
Yeah, but he's not dumb. He's just choosing not to be smart at the moment, and they don't get that.
Okay, sorry, Mike.
That's a quote from Summer Heights High. Where are we at?
One of the students with head lice was so embarrassed he vomited out of his bum.
Now, so that's ambiguous. Is it diarrhea, which has the same consistency of vomit, or is it vomit?
Or is it actually? Yeah, is it vomit? Because that would be.
I guess if he had diarrhea, it would have said he diarrheaed.
Yeah,
he vomits. So it's vomit. Can you vomit out of your bum? Because those pipes are connected.
God, I don't want to make this extremely grim, but I imagine if you're very, very malnourished and like. If you've been one of those Slytherin students that's been a prisoner of war underneath, you've been starved, I think that's when it's possible.
And do you think you could vomit out of your bum while 69ing? Because that'd be very messy and gross.
Oh, yeah, that's the best when that happens. Mike, I think
we're going to need a little E symbol on the side of this. Explicit.
Also, yes, in this universe, I imagine you can vomit out of your bum as people do everything out of the bum in this universe. The spells, vomit. I don't know what else.
Yeah, that's true.
That's what. Yeah, okay. The rest of the students, including the other students with head lice, good, they're back on side. They're like, thank God.
They're like, oh God, we finally got some.
Then began pointing at this specific student whose name was Terry O'Talson.
Okay, Terry O'Talson. Oh, well, it's a very Harry
Terry
Potter.
O'Talson, welcome to the podcast.
Welcome to Hogwarts. And by the way, you have head lice.
You've just been sorted, and you have head lice, and you vomit out of your bum.
Surely there's a spell that just gets rid of head lice.
Oh, exactly. There's spells for everything.
I guess you could Avada Kedavra the lice, but then you're at risk of accidentally just Avada Kedavraing the person's head, and they just, sorry guys, we didn't think that one through. We've actually killed him, but the lice problem is contained.
He started. The point of this specific student, his name was Terry O'Talson, and began saying repeatedly, "Vommy bum, vommy, no, vommy bum, vom bum,
vommy bum, vom bum,
vommy bum, vom bum, vommy bum, vom bum." Kids are so clever.
Yeah,
they are. We don't give them enough credit.
Do you actually remember, and not to bring it back to a personal experience, but like at our school, and you were a few years above me, but I think you must have been at school when this happened. It was at an assembly, and possibly at the worst time when is it like Remembrance Day? We played The Last Post, which is like this beautiful trumpet piece, and it's like a tribute to all of the people in the war who died, right?
Yeah.
And I can see that you remember this. So we're at assembly, big like conservative private school. This is a huge deal. While this lone trumpeter is playing The Last Post, one student literally in front of the whole school vomits everywhere while The Last Post is playing. You can't just like interrupt The Last Post, which is a moment of silence and reflection. So basically, this kid vomits like twice on the floor in front of the whole school, and everyone's just like, oh my God, what is going to happen here?
Mike, do you know why I remember this?
It wasn't you, was it?
Because I was the one playing Last Post.
No, you weren't.
On the trumpet.
No, you weren't.
I was.
Do you play No, you weren't. Do you play trumpet?
Shit you not. Well, not anymore.
That taste scarred you.
not since that day. April 25th.
And you know what happened? Everyone in the school was like, Vommy Trump, Vom Trump.
Because that was the most traumatic thing. It was my biggest gig. I'm playing trumpet.
No, I can't believe this.
It's actually me. This is so weird you brought that up. That was actually me playing the trumpet. And it's my biggest gig. There's the entire senior school, junior school, there's like 1,500, 2,000 people. This is And the most solemn thing, and I'm trying to play this piece, and I kind of stuffed it up a little bit, actually.
Yeah, I mean, you're a year 12 trumpeter. No one expects you to play it perfectly.
Yeah, stage fright. I've never played in front of that many people, ever. Still, to this day, as a comedian.
Well, this might have been your funniest gig, but you had nothing to do with it.
It was quite difficult to play this piece as one kid vomited, and you might not remember this, another kid fainted right after that. And then, so walking right past me, a teacher carrying a year 7 student past while I'm trying to play. I'm half laughing, half crying because of how terrible this has gone.
Yeah, and the thing was, the floor of the hall we were in was all like polished floorboards, so it wasn't like carpet. The sound that the vomit made was like
because it was like
like you could hear this vomit so clearly.
It was so bad.
And then I think that boy just sort of had to stand there in his own vomit, and like people were around him and everyone was laughing, and it was like so disrespectful, but like you couldn't not laugh at like the irony of this situation. But that is hilarious that it was you.
Sorry, that was me.
Trumpet.
So really sorry for the but that was actually that was terrible.
I can't believe that was you. What are the chances that we bring that up and it happens to be you?
And I definitely stuffed it up. I'm lucky someone vomited during the middle of it because no one really remembers me stuffing it up. Obviously.
You know what? I think we need to recreate that moment. Just like bring you back to your biggest
Oh my God.
Did anyone talk to you? Sorry about this detour, everyone. Did anyone like talk to you and apologize or anything? Or was it just like, yeah, cool?
No, I think no, not at all. I think my trumpet teacher came over. He's like, "Oh, bad luck, mate," because I stuffed it up.
Bad luck, mate. Stick with Pop Goes the Weasel. You're not ready for Last Post. Oh God.
Oh well. Anyway,
it's still unclear whether they vomited and fainted because of your playing or because of another reason.
I know. I know.
Anyway, vommy bum, vom bum.
Yeah, I digress. Terry, who had just vomited out of his bum, was so embarrassed. And even the lice on his head and some of the bacteria in the vomit he did from his bum were also joining in. Joining the chant.
Vommy bum, vom bum. This is so ludicrous, but you can see it happening in Harry Potter. The lice have their own magic school.
Yeah. Kind of like the are they gnomes that are in Ron's garden? What are they?
The garden gnomes.
Garden gnomes.
Yeah.
Like, who are they? Yeah. Like, could they speak?
They exist to cause trouble.
They exist. They could speak. Can they have a school? Do they? Are they? Can you just kill them?
Are they animals or are they like? What are they? You're right. It's a great question.
I feel like they had faces and they could. Anyway.
Yeah, I think they speak English.
Yeah. So
I remember in one of the games, I think it was the Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets PlayStation game. You actually one of the levels is like you have to throw them out of the garden.
Maybe that's why I remember them.
Yeah. Because
Anyway.
they're not in the movies, but yes, good remembering.
Yeah.
Okay, so he began to cry.
He began crying. One of the tears dropped onto the floor of the Great Hall and hit one of the bacteria from the vomit. This caused the bacteria to vomit out of its bum. Mike, no.
So it's like a microscopic bum vomit.
This is like a Monty Python sketch as well. Everyone starts vomiting.
It's
and
like, what are those things? Are they the bush? What is it? The things you open
Babushka dolls.
Babushka doll. It's like a babushka doll.
of
A
vomit.
chain domino
a
effect.
smaller and smaller person vomits and the chain reaction of stress and other factors causing causing various characters to vomit out of their bums continued for another 3 hours.
So it's just a non-stop chain reaction.
Of people vomiting out of their bums, vomiting.
Vom, vom, bum.
Oh, now I'm the vommy bum. Yeah.
Oh no!
I
was laughing at the vommy vom, but now
I'm the vommy bum. Oh, cruel world.
The cruel irony of this
Life. Yeah.
Oh god!
Michael and Rob watched on and began to wonder what the point of the memory was.
Yeah, so you got to assume like Hermione is watching all this happen live, and that's why she has this memory.
Yeah,
and she's just gone, boys. You have to watch this, and they're just sitting there going, "What are we doing
that's
here?"
More like when someone tries to show you some really long and shit YouTube video, you have to watch this.
One of my pet peeves is people who try to make you watch long YouTube videos just at the wrong time. Like, oh, we're at a party. Hey, watch this 6-minute YouTube video. Like, no, I don't want to do this.
It's really like, if you really want me to watch it, send it to me and
Yeah.
I might get to it.
Yeah.
Sorry, that
I've got trumpet lessons. I'm pretty busy. I am pretty busy.
shouldn't have revealed that. Harry continued after all the commotion in his room had stopped and he had cleaned up his bum after being one of the people who had vomited from it. Excuse me, students, I'm just going to clean up my bum. Okay, all right. Enough of that. And
it's a shame we never find out how it gets to the domino of Harry vomiting from his bum. But crazy stuff. It's another chapter.
And second, I want to... Sorry. So it's been 3 hours. First of all...
You guys have lies. Bam, bam, bam. 3 hours.
3 hours. And secondly... you guys all remember what I was talking about? Good. I want all of you to be aware that this year, 2 students have entered the school that are dangerous.
Ooh.
Who could they be?
Yeah, I'm positive I know exactly who they are.
Unfortunately, these 2 students are unknown. So, I want you all to be alert at all times. Try to guess who they might be, he said.
No, it's like we can make it into a fun little game. Try to guess who it is. You know, you never really know.
How do we know? How does he know there are 2 dangerous students?
Yeah.
Why does he know who they are? Another question for the author, I guess.
And we should remember that, and I believe it's coming up, but this chapter was called the Crypigtic message.
Oh, it was
We
too.
still don't believe we've received the message, but
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, well, here we go. And now, one more message that only you students will understand. Oh, God, here we go. Vile is its way, nie, hete, chulse, orphe, verie. Thank you. Go to bed.
Now, after all this vomiting from each other's bums, I think you all must be very tired. Head to bed and get ready for your first lesson tomorrow.
You must be all exhausted. I know I am.
Oh, Mr. Filch, clean up the vomit, please.
And everyone report back to the dormitories for 69ing at once.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was not necessary. Okay, so that was obviously...
Surprised it didn't say, like, 2 of the lice started 69ing, which caused some of the other lice to vomit out of their bums.
Far out, that would have been funny.
That would have been funny,
That's
but unfortunately we missed that one.
fan fiction, I'll write the fan fiction for that. I mean, that was obviously probably Pig Latin.
Yes, which is why it's the Crypigtic message.
Yes. Oh, that makes so much more sense now.
Yeah.
I only just got that.
Well, that's pretty clever. Now, can I just say that the next line, which you will read, I guess, but it says the memory had ended. So really, Hermione theoretically could have just started the memory there. That was the only piece of relevant information.
Exactly. But she's like, look, you gotta see this.
It's like, hey, this is pretty serious, but you gotta see what happened before this. Like, everyone has to see this. I'm so glad I saved it.
Does time when you relive a memory, if you go in the pensieve, does that exact amount of time pass for you on the outside? Or
I don't know. I don't know. It's an interesting question.
Anyway, the memory had ended. The feeling of who are we to come up with answers for this stuff? Maybe one of the Amy's?
Can one of the Amy's write in about that?
Yeah. The memory had ended. The feeling of coming out of the pensieve was really weird, and Michael and Rob weren't used to it yet. Rob was so nauseous that he vomited out of his bum.
That's called a callback.
That's very good. That's very good.
And also, nauseous is not spelt correctly.
Oh no,
it's just the word nausea and then shus.
Yeah,
which is not how you spell it.
Nauseatious.
Yeah, sounds like a spell.
Yeah, actually, yeah. We'll try it. Okay, now I'm going to read this again. Vile is its way, nae hete chulse orphe vire vile is its way, nae hete chulse orphe vire. Rob repeated in his head.
Oh, so he didn't actually say that out loud. He repeated it in his head.
I wish I only had to say that in my head. Well, asked Hermione. Pig Latin, said Michael.
Of course he'd know.
What? Asked Hermione. Oh, she doesn't even know.
So we expected to expect that, one, Harry thought a great way to code a message was using Pig Latin, one of the most decodable codes, and two, that no one would know Pig Latin. Now that's pretty crazy.
That is pretty crazy, and especially because I feel like Year 7s learn about it all the time. Well, Mongol Year 7s. Yeah. That's why you put it in this book, because we probably just learned about it. Anyway.
I probably did just learn about Pig Latin, yeah.
And we'd be like, Akfe uye, miss. Classic.
All right, so then he says it again.
Says it again.
We're not going to read it.
I won't say it again. But he goes, that would be evil wizards in the school forever. Evil wizards in the school forever. Even that's cryptic. That's not even an answer. That's not even, that's essentially what he said. He said there are two dangerous wizards here.
Yeah, and why did this message have to be coded? And Hermione spent the past 30 years being like, what could this mean? And she gets a 11-year-old to come in and be like, oh, it's just Pig Latin. It says evil wizard in the school. It's like, thanks, we are no closer to figuring out this mystery.
It's just like the PlayStation cheat code. So that means they'll be here forever. Boris and Mr. Charger, that is.
Oh.
Pig Latin? Asked Rob. Oh, here we go. Now we explain Pig Latin. Put the first letter of the word on the end and add A to the end, said Michael. Oh, said Rob. Well, don't I feel like a bit of an idiot, eh? That's actually pretty funny.
So Rob doesn't get it.
He doesn't get it. He doesn't get it at all. Not how it works, said Michael. Rob vomited out of his bum.
Wow.
But no one acknowledges it. Boys, you've cracked the code.
So is it just like, boys, you've cracked the code?
We're like, look, Rob, we can't deal your incontinence and incompetence anymore. Oh, boys, you've cracked the code. When you receive your 9th ill-fated measure, come here to my office. She said, oh yeah, the ill-fated measures, said Michael. Yeah.
Now that is the reaction I have because I forgot all about
it. They were in the chapter I last did.
Yeah. So like 3 or 4 weeks ago. And a month ago, we're talking about these ill-fated measures and the boys are just like, oh yeah, I forgot about those.
And I think like anyone who has been on this podcast and comes back, we really hope to not find anything. I was hoping the ill-fated measures would be done. I just didn't want to hear them out again.
Nothing comes back.
This is the first time something's come back and we wish it didn't.
Yeah. Damn.
Okay, we'll be ready, said Rob. Attention all students and some of the centaurs, the PA announced suddenly.
So is there a PA in the forest? In the Forbidden Forest, there's just a PA so Harry can send messages to the centaurs.
What was the guy's name?
Firenze, and then there's another one who's in Cursed Child as well. Can't remember his name.
Didn't watch it.
So attention all students and some of the centaurs.
It's very annoying.
Not all of you, but some of you.
PA now suddenly. This is just a reminder that Derek is a disgrace to all wizards. A centaur outside of the window did a thumbs up. That is genuinely hilarious.
So
he's trotting, trotting past. Thanks.
Oh yes, of course. I forgot that. I forgot.
He
Thank
sure
you for
is.
reminding me.
I'll tell the others.
And like outside of the window, is he outside of like the window that Rob and Michael are in, or like is he just like where is he?
It's a real cut to moment in a book.
It's like he's just like going about his business. He's like, oh, well, some of the centaurs. I'm a centaur. Just a reminder, Derek is a straight store business. Yeah, no, don't worry. We haven't forgotten there.
We've actually got a whole thing about it.
We do our own reminders about it. Oh, that's great. That is the end of the
And that's the end of the chapter.
chappy. Yeah, wow. Thank you so much, Sam. That was a lot of fun.
Wow.
Thanks for not vomiting out of your bum during that.
Yet.
Yeah, you could still do it.
Oh, well, maybe I haven't. I just,
You've hidden it well. I can't smell any... Because you'd think if you're vomiting out of your bum, there'd be some poo particles in there.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. No, there are.
I'm doing our post as a separate bonus episode now.
Okay,
So
yeah, sure.
we're not gonna-
Also, because we went for so long.
We've
in this
gone
one.
so long talking
I'm so
about
sorry.
your trumpet
Well,
incident.
you brought it up.
That's so funny. But let's thank you so much for coming. Plug your shows one more time so people... It's so cheap as well to go. Like, if you just want to see a great comedy show, go and grab a ticket. But,
Melbourne International Comedy Festival from the 24th of March till the 4th of April. Sam Garlepp, come again. Just go to the website or just go to my Instagram or whatever.
Yeah, what's your Instagram as well?
Just at Sam Garlepp.
With 2 P's. Garlepp.
Yes.
Garlepp.
Yeah. And or at Tim and Sammy as well.
Yeah.
We've got put some videos up in podcast.
Check out the Tim and Sammy pod. Heaps of really good videos and like the Married at First Sight one was that a recent one you just put up?
It was like a month ago, but then recently all the Married at First Sight people started commenting on it, and anyway, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, great. So go follow Sam. I'll be at the show next Wednesday. If anyone feels like picking up a ticket and come up and say hey, and we can watch the show together. And otherwise, just go not on the first weekend, but whenever you can.
Yep, because some of them are all sold out.
Yeah.
But thank you, Mike. Thank you so much for having me. And as we always say.
Yeah.
I know you.
No, sorry. I was going to say, and now to finish the podcast, Sam is going to play the last post on the trumpet. Sam, if you will.
Now I do need to vomit out of my thumb.
See you later. Get your priorities straight.